Welcome back to the channel, Consordini.com. My name is Michael Freed, and today I'm going to teach you about how to hold the violin bow. Now, there are many different ways of teaching how to hold the violin bow, and therefore there are many different variations of how people hold their bow, but there is a precise way of where you want to put the fingers for the best possible result. Now, to start, I suggest you find any common household item. Right now I've kind of got a random roll of tissue paper, but if you could find a squishy ball or like a softball, something that just simply fits into your hand, and you're gonna wrap your fingers around it, including your thumb, and just bend and flex several times so the fingers come in and then they push the object away along with the thumb. As much as you can get every single finger to have some sort of springy action, this is what we're going to start just to warm up the right hand. It's important to have a constant balance between tension and relaxation in the bow hand, because when we play the instrument and we get closer to the heavy frog at the bottom of the bow, we need some sort of shock absorption from the bow fingers, like so. So you need that sort of bendability of the fingers to change direction of the bow without it being really awkward and sort of gritty. If there isn't any flexibility in those fingers at all, you're simply going to have to be like sort of like a car. Instead of turning around smoothly, they're going into drive and into reverse, and the passengers in the car are sort of jolted in that way, similarly to the string being played right at that frog. So, to continue practicing before we actually learn where to put all the fingers on the bow, if you can imagine that you're at an arcade or at Chuck E. Cheese or something, and you've been around the place and you find the arcade game that involves a glass box full of stuffed animals, and then there's this claw that moves around the box, and the goal of the game is to perfectly set that claw down, and its loose fingers will pick up the object that you want to win as your prize. So we're going to start with a hand that's very, very loose and all of those fingers just hanging below like so. And you're going to make sure you have some sort of other object, hopefully a pencil, something that sort of resembles the shape of the bow. I suggest using a marker like so, or a pencil or pen or of something of the sort. It doesn't have to be, as long as it's some sort of like stick shape. Just hang those fingers really, really loose, and you're just going to come down and simply pick up the object. Now you're going to go ahead and roll it kind of in your fingers just so you've got a nice grasp of it, but everything once again is going to be very, very curved and very relaxed. So we don't really want just our fingertips holding because we don't have a very good grip on it. You actually want to let the fingers kind of roll off. And then with our pinky, we're just going to kind of tap on the top of the pen like so, just to have that feeling of balance, rocking back and forth. So one more time, shake out your hand if you need to, because blood flow can become an issue when we're grasping things. Remember that we never want any extra tension or squeezing anytime we are practicing this sort of thing. Same as when we're practicing anything on the violin or with the violin bow. So one more time, we're just going to come down to the pen and pick it up like so, placing our pinky on top. And we always want to kind of have the hand, rather than falling back this way, we want to have it leaning in towards the inside of the object, so that when we're playing, we're actually creating pressure in towards the instrument. So now, with the bow, it becomes slightly easier, well, maybe not easier, but we have an advantage now, because we not only have the top of the stick, but we have the boxy frog down here as well, that we can actually lay our fingers over on top. So once more, if I can maybe angle my camera a little bit better, we're just going to start with the bow on the desk, on the stand. You're going to droop those fingers down. You're going to let your middle two fingers cover the dot of the bow. It's the eye of the mother of pearl right here, middle two fingers, and similarly you're just going to pick it up nice and loose. So you have to have a little bit of tension in the hand as you pick up the heavy bow, but we don't want any extra squeezing, anything that we can't control. So then I'm gonna place my pinky nice and bent on top of the stick, and for my thumb, I'm just gonna see that it's directly across from these middle two fingers. The exact place where we place the thumb is right in between the frog and the grip. So you see that there's a little gap just right here. That's precisely where I'm going to place my thumb when I practice how to hold my bow, okay? One fun game that you can play just to practice getting those fingers really flexible before you practice anything else on your instrument is to just simply climb up the bow like King Kong. So that first finger reaches up and just climbs all the way up to the top of the bow, and you can challenge yourself. Careful not to drop your bow, but you can challenge yourself to see how quickly you can scale up the bow, okay? So this is it for our first lesson on bow hold and bow control. I hope to have you join us in the future for more violin lessons here on Consordini.com.